plant your flag and take a look around, because it's time to celebrate Coon Rapids athletics. From swimming to basketball, we'll bring you all the best highlights. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. It's great to be back after a week away. I missed you. Well, as always.
Especially with a show like that where we had a lot of stuff to get caught up on. We're into the new year now, and a lot of good storylines developing early for Cardinal sports.
Yeah, and it's exciting, obviously, at this time of year, and you know, everybody hopefully will be staying healthy as this season continues to go on. But yeah, some great memories made and some disappointing things as well, unfortunately.
Well, the staying healthy is definitely a challenge, and it is affecting several different Cardinal programs. We're going to start by talking about the boys hockey team. They started 2022 ready to make some history, and game one of the new year had a lot of storylines. On Thursday, they hosted Armstrong Cooper. The Cardinals were just 1-10-1 against the Wings, with their only win coming in the Wings' inaugural season of 2015. Cardinals had won 2 straight before going on to their holiday break, but coming out of it, they only had one of the team's 4 goalies available. So sophomore Will Wagner played both the varsity and the JV games. The Wings start the scoring midway through the first. Tanner Rausch out of the corner, snipes the top shelf, gives Armstrong Cooper a 1-0 lead. The celebration was boisterous, but it was to be short-lived. The Cardinals answer at the other end. Good hold at the line by Tandon Bush, pushes backhander to the net. Will Marty there to put home the rebound, his 4th of the season, first in front of the home crowd, and it ties the game at 1 after 1. Cardinals bringing pressure in the second, but it takes a weird hop and springs the Wings. Aiden Cook on a breakaway. Good fake to open the net, put Armstrong Cooper back in front 2-1. Wings brought a lot of pressure in that middle period, but Wagner up to the challenge. He's going to glove this one, stop 27 of the 29 shots he faced in his first ever varsity game. Third period, Cardinals not to be denied. Nathan Clark to Bresnahan out front. Back to Clark. He taps it home. Clark's 9th of the season, evens the game at 2. But more importantly, the Cardinals taking the momentum in the final frame. And they feed on the energy. Nathan cleansing with speed down the left wing and around behind the net. He finds Eli Bowden walking in. Bowden buries the wrist shot, and the Cardinals take a 3-2 lead with 7 minutes to play. Wings bring the pressure, but the Cardinals come together to secure the win. Harry Koval's block in the final seconds, one of several down the stretch for the Cardinals. The team really stepping up, and they swarm their sophomore keeper afterwards. Cardinals' first 3-game win streak since December 2011. Wagner faced almost 90 shots on the day. A loss at the JV level, but a phenomenal win for the varsity team.
What a day for that young man that he'll always remember, that opportunity. He had to play JV, and then he came out and got his first varsity win against a pretty good team within the Wings. And they've had that back and forth over the years, those two teams, Coon Rapids and Armstrong Cooper, and it's been a good series, and that was a nice win for the program.
First win in 7 seasons.
Yeah, nice win for the program.
And their first 3-game win streak in 10 years.
Great.
So some great things happening for the boys hockey team. Unfortunately, on Saturday, they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. You may remember how the Maple Grove Crimson treated them in the first round of sections last year. Not quite that lopsided, but the Crimson in complete control outshot the Cardinals 53-15, outscored them 10-0, dropping the Cardinals to 5-6. And Wagner got to start again. And for the JV game, they put Cody Novak in. I've known Cody a long time. I had never seen him in goalie pads before last night, or Saturday afternoon.
Got to step up when the opportunity presents itself.
Stepping up for his team, that says a lot. Cardinals have a busy week. They're at South St. Paul on Tuesday. They will host Champlin Park on Thursday. And Howie?
We'll be there!
And then they will host Centennial on Saturday. Centennial, very good, up into the top 10. That Maple Grove team, by the way, still ranked number 5.
Yeah,
so they're all right.
They're pretty good. That's a tough one for them. Well, the girls' hockey team was flying high coming into the new year after their Kaposia Classic Championship, but Tuesday's visit from Andover was a dose of reality. The Huskies came in undefeated, ranked number 1 in the state. The Bluebirds did the best to keep up with them, but the Huskies blew the game open in the second period and coasted to their 13th win of the season. Andover starts quickly. They get a 2-on-1 in opening minute. Maya Engler feeding Hannah Christensen out front. She goes to the backhand and slides it to the wide open net. Well, the Huskies kept the puck almost the entire period. Nora Sauer doing a great job staying with this one. After the poke check, able to spin and score off Boucher. Andover has a 2-goal lead after the first. Let's move to the second period. Really opens up the offense. Madison Brown with a great move to get in alone. She flips it over Boucher to increase the lead. More offensive zone pressure played across to Courtney Little. She gets a wrist shot through traffic and past Boucher. Andover scored 5 straight goals in the second period and took complete control. Ella Borger, a big part of that. She had 4 points in the period, including 2 goals. The Huskies grew the lead to 7. But the Bluebirds would not be shut out just seconds after Andover's 7th. CPR gets in on the attack. Abby Ness shot to stop, but Brooklyn Johnson, as you saw there, put the rebound home. It's the only one the Bluebirds would get as Andover goes on to an 8-1 win. You were there, Joe Yen. You called the action.
It's a very impressive hockey team.
They're good.
The Andover program has been lights out the last number of years. 4 straight section titles, 2 straight trips to the state championship game. Haven't lost a game by more than 1 goal in 2 years. Last time that happened was 3 seasons ago in the state tournament against Eden Prairie. So pretty tough team to have on your schedule year after year. Cardinals' schedule does get a bit easier moving forward, and they took out their frustrations against Northern Tier on Thursday, putting up a 7 spot to claim the 7-1 win. Wastrel made 19 saves, 4 goals in the contest for Kennedy Bolander. We saw Harry Koval do that for the boys team just last week. Bolander with a 4 spot against Northern Tier. Brooklyn Johnson had 3 assists. Tara Base had 2 goals and an assist. Lily McKenzie also scored for the Bluebirds. On Saturday, made it 2 in a row with a 6-3 win over Hopkins St. Louis Park. Abby Ness with 2 goals. Goal and 2 assists for both Kylie Scott and Kennedy Bolander. Brianna Qualley finished with 1 of each. And this is a team that could make some noise. They came into the season really wanting to change things around under the new coach. And one of the big missions is to get past the first round in the playoffs. They're set to be in a position where they'll be a higher seed.
Yes, absolutely. And I think they've played well, and you look at their schedule. It's been tough, and I know that at the beginning of the season when we talked to Coach, he said we want to schedule those teams that are going to give us a challenge right away.
Well, they are at Armstrong Cooper on Tuesday. They host White Bear Lake next Tuesday. Wrestling team unfortunately had a little bit of a breakout, so due to protocols, they were not able to compete in Farmington on Saturday. Jury's still out as to whether they'll be able to compete this week. They're scheduled to be at Anoka on Friday and in Champlain Park for a tournament on Saturday. Friday, we are planning to be there, but we won't know until midweek if the Cardinals will be able to retake the mat. Gymnastics team hosting a double duel last week against Blaine and Maple Grove. Cardinals scored a 111.975. Blaine with a 120.275. Lana Vang, solid second place finish on the vault. Ada Drummy right behind her in third place. Actually, they tied at 8.3. Lana Vang, a fourth place finish on the bars, and Savannah Lust was fifth on the beam. Same team score for the Cardinals against Maple Grove. Maple Grove puts up a 129.55. Ada Drummy, a couple of top finishes for the Cardinals on the bars and the beam. Lana Vang was third on the floor. Drummy was best for the Cardinals in the all-around, with an even 30 to take fourth place. Gymnastics team has the Osseo Invite on Saturday this week and the Breck Invite a week from Saturday. Well, the swimming and diving team felt pretty good going into last week's matchup with their pool mates from Blaine. The Cardinals were coming off their first dual win of the season, and while the Bengals have a bigger, more experienced squad, Cardinals have enough speed and depth to make an interesting one to the very end. Coon Rapids getting the start they needed. It helps when you start with one of your strongest events. The 200 medley relay team for the Cardinals is loaded. Nate Larson leads it off, followed by Tyler Schultz. Jackson Ling and Nolan Schultz handled the back half. One swimmer from each grade level. They cruise to a win in 148.41. Tyler Schultz had wins in both of his individual races. This is the 200 individual medley, which he finished in 2 minutes, 1.97 seconds. He also won the 100 freestyle. A couple of the younger standouts also having strong nights against the Bengals. Sophomore Mitch Tronson barely missed a win in the 200 freestyle, but he sets the pace here, start to finish in the 500 free. Tronson all alone as he coasts to the wall in 5 minutes, 22.52 seconds. Fellow sophomore Nate Larson finished second in the 100 butterfly, but he grabs the blue ribbon in the 100 backstroke. He's in with a time of 1 minute, 2.84 seconds. The Cardinals have a chance until the last event, but they fall to Blaine 98-88.
Yeah, we were there obviously, and it was a lot of fun, and you know that atmosphere is always good when Blaine and Coon Rapids swim, and it was close. I mean, it was very close till as he mentioned, till the very end. And you know, I think Coon Rapids did a pretty good job of keeping it that way. Coach Donaldson talked about it could go a couple of different ways, and it proved that it was right down to the finish.
And in his email today, Coach Donaldson said they definitely made Blaine feel nervous on the pool deck till the very end. On Saturday, the Cardinals competing down at the University of Minnesota in the maroon and gold. Some very nice finishes for those top guys. Tyler Schultz won the 100 breaststroke, including the strongest last 25 that Coach Donaldson said he's ever seen from him. Also finished 5th place in the 100 butterfly. Mitch Tronson was 10th in the 500 free and 20th in the 100 butterfly. Nate Larson was 21st in the 100 backstroke and the 200 IM. Nick Schultz was 22nd in the 100 free and 23rd in the 200 free as a team. They finish in 12th place. Cardinals go head-to-head against the Pirates from Park Center on Thursday, and then we'll have the True Team Section 7 2A tournament on Saturday. Nordic skiing and diving, or Nordic skiing and diving.
We talked about that. That's possibly a sport. Skiing and diving.
Nordic ski team was busy last week. On Tuesday, they got together with the teams from half of the Northwest Suburban for a 5K Classic, and the boys finished in 4th place. Aaron Casey in 3rd place overall. Josh Thoen was 8th. Ryan Powley in 12th. Ludwig was 19th, and Peyton Martinick right behind him in 20th. On the girls' side, they finished in 5th place overall. Lila Gilliard, a really nice place, 9th place finish in a tie in 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Stella Bone was in 13th, and Kayla Lowe in 26th, Dutton in 41st, and Liz Hogarth in 46th place. On Saturday, they were at the Wasabi Invite. This is a huge race, one of the biggest in the country. 51 teams taking part. The boys finished in 23rd place. This is a pursuit race, so Ryan Powley and Josh Thoen, their top finishers in the Classic. Demmer and Ludwig finished as their top freestylers. On the girls' side, they didn't have anyone in the freestyle race, so they just had 3 run the Classic. Lila Gilliard, a very strong 23rd place finish in 20 minutes, 7.5 seconds. Hogarth was in 118th place, and Legree was in 120th, and as a team still finishing in 41st despite not having anyone skiing freestyle. They will have a 5K Classic with the Northwest Suburban teams at Highland on Tuesday, ABC Relays on Saturday. Alpine Ski Team had its 2nd race of the season last week at Trollhagen. Cardinal boys finished in 10th place. Van Norman, their top finisher, in 63rd. Sartwell in 72nd. Patrow in 79th. Chesser in 81st, and Simon finished in 82nd place. On the girls' side, a little stronger finish, 6th place. As I mentioned last week, 17 skiers on the girls' team this year. That's very exciting. Boys could still see some more numbers, just 8 guys out for the team. But the girls finished in 6th, with Mary Olson leading the way in 27th, Shelby Robidoux in 32nd, Emily Verbeek 39th, Zoe Scheck 51st, and Carly Hafferman finished in 60th place. They're back at Trollhagen on Thursday this week for race 3 and next week for race 4.
Yeah, a lot of skiing coming up, and fortunately they have the snow for it,
and cold. It's definitely cold enough. Although we are going to peak above freezing this week. Boys basketball team has been downright hot this season. A great start, and last week they started the new year with an 81-72 win over Cambridge Isani on the road. McKeith Dank 24 points and 10 rebounds to lead the way in both categories. MJ Galama also added 20 points. Kaijon Cummings Coleman, or has he maybe come to known C squared, 16 points, 9 steals. Elijah Smith 10 points, 5 boards, and Matthew Ellingson had 6 points and 3 blocks.
Yeah, that was a big win for him on the road. Well, the table was set perfectly for the Cardinals going to Thursday's home game against Maple Grove. The Cardinals hadn't beaten the Crimson in more than 15 years, but with the Crimson off to a slow start and missing some top players, it was an awesome opportunity to end a long drought against a conference power. Coon Rapids setting the tempo early. Kaijon Cummings Coleman shakes the defender to the floor and scores easily. Cardinals all smiles to start against Maple Grove. Their defense helped them build a lead. McKeith Dang with a couple of huge blocks against the Crimson. He also had 15 points. Cardinals led almost the entire game, but struggled with foul trouble. MJ Galama making the most of his minutes. That fadeaway part of team-high 17 points. Coon Rapids had a 15-point lead, trimmed to 2 points in the first half. They built it back up in the second. Peyton Himmel's three-pointer helps them to a 60-44 lead with 10 minutes remaining. But it wasn't enough. The Crimson turned the tide down the stretch. Matthew Hossman a couple of threes to help them tie it up and force overtime. He wasn't done. Hossman hits a 3 from the left corner to tie the game at 75 with 90 seconds remaining in the extra period. 30 seconds left, the Crimson down 1. They find Henry Stang with an open jump shot. Their first lead since early in the first half, and it holds. Crimson with a 79-76 win. I'm still fretting at that game.
It was a tough one to take, and really thought we were going to see them break a streak of 15 years estimated since they have beaten Maple Grove. This was the year this is the team that should have been able to do it, and just not able to close it out down the stretch. This team is essentially 2 to 3 points away from being 8-1 at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Gork knows that, obviously, and I'm sure that as he posted on Facebook, or the basketball site posted, it was a gut punch for this team, and I think it really was, because they felt, especially they're up by 16, they felt they had that opportunity to win, and quite obviously they should have.
Well, we will see if they will be able to bounce back. They host Spring Lake Park on Tuesday, and Howie?
We'll be there.
Then they are at Champlin Park on Thursday. A lot of great stuff we have coming up for you. Really looking forward to that game on Tuesday to get our week started. Then on Thursday, we'll be at the boys hockey game.
Yep.
And then on Friday, perhaps, we will have wrestling for you. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continue to support.
How
that's
could you
why.
forget girls basketball?
We forgot all about girls basketball. That's why, because they had one game, they lost 76-22. It was tough to take.
Yeah, that's a tough
Jenny
one.
Tomboy had 13 of their 22 points. The girls will be at Spring Lake Park on Tuesday and host Champlin Park on Thursday. All right, now let's look at what we have coming up for you. There it is. And we're very excited about the boys basketball game and a chance for the boys hockey team. A lot of exciting things happening in that program. I look forward to seeing them again against the Rebels, and hopefully wrestling against Anoka. Now that's it for
Now
this
we're signing
edition
off? Okay.
of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. To the entire crew, including Tom Cornell behind the camera and Howie Shapiro to my right, I'm Joe Young saying good night.